Hi guys, this is Sydney. So as I was sitting at this bench, I felt called to look to the sun, and as I was taking a photo, I noticed a rainbow, and the energy of the sun, or the Helios, was the message that I was receiving when I was walking up the hill in Cusco. So by the way, I'm in Cusco right now in Peru, and I just had this light language coming out with the message, and when it happened, I was connecting heavily with a lot of the ancestors, energy of the Incas, all this like Andes, and also as I was walking here, I received a lot of messages, and one of them was Archangel. So there was a lot of strong presence of Archangel messages or energies. So right now I'm a little bit slow because I got here a few days ago, and for like first 3-4 days my body was in pain so much, and then it got better since yesterday, and then today also, and I started to take a walk, but still like just by walking up a hill, like I have to stop and take a breath, and because the air, the oxygen is not sufficient. So I'm like, I feel really slowed down. And what is coming through in it is energy of Nazareth, Israel, the energy of Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary energies all coming through right now. So I'm a little bit out of breath, so I'm gonna take my time. So a couple of days ago, the message that came through was hydrogen, and that was in connection with the alchemical process, or the philosopher's stone's journey, however you resonate, the enlightenment journey. Basically, we need to further release our egoic desires, and release the known, basically, in order to build the new earth, get into the age of light, and that creative force that we need, that I shared a lot in a few days on my shorts on sacral energies. We need to unlock that sacral energy, the potency of that power within ourselves as human beings that had been blocked due to a lot of religious codes, traditions and rituals, especially, and all kinds of sexual misuse, influenced by capitalism and commercialism, and thus it's kind of hard to breathe. Thus we are unlocking that sacral force at this time, and hydrogen was the meaning that we are kickstarting on the 1111 portal that is today, that I received quite a few messages, and then I was feeling called to share some messages, shorts on YouTube in relation to that. So just as you can see, when you are here, you value the presence of oxygen so much. My body feels it. During the sleep, I have a headache because the oxygen is not moving through my head, and that I could really feel all the energies, how it's been moving when it was proficient, I didn't realize that much how it was working in all ways. But when it was lacking, I was able to see it more clearly, the pathways, the airways, so I could appreciate it more, and also I could understand the inner workings of my body better and how to nourish it better, and the certain movements, how to open up the passageway and circulate the blood and all of this stuff, right? So it was very uneasy, but at the same time it was very interesting for me to learn and realize something by having this experience. And so hydrogen is an element that I just searched briefly because it came up all of a sudden just on my face. And so in a periodic table, we are going to work with all these different elements throughout the next 4 years of that cycle. And hydrogen is the lightest, most abundant element that basically kickstarts and then fuels all the other energies. So I don't know much about the chemical aspect or the scientific or electronic, all this like kind of knowledge, but for this particular message, that's what I received with the 1111 portal, that we are kickstarting right now with the energy of hydrogen. And also a couple of days ago, the what came was energy of Taurus, that we are in initiation. So I'm just going to take a moment to connect with the archangels. They are with me, especially Archangel Metatron. The energy of Helios is really strong today on the 1111 portal. So I just recorded that message with the sun energy on short, so if you resonate, I will upload it there and you can see it. If you can, they want you to, archangels, and especially Archangel Metatron coming through, they want you to connect with the Helios for the 1111, for the energy of purification. So we are to go back to the primordial state, which I talked about in the recent videos in Ascension message, that we need to go back to zero base one. Meaning that is in line with the creative force power of the sacral chakra that we are unlocking as we are transmuting all these religious codes all around. So what I received just before I got here from Lima was suddenly there was an ad popping up. It was an advertisement about Cusco on TV, and I received the message through that. And then there are certain important spots that's now like cathedrals, but actually they were important energy points for Incas. So they already worked with the grid, the energy points. So that was a sacral energy points of this particular land. But when the Spanish came, they tore down that structure, and then they built the cathedrals there. So I think it was more than one. So from what I received, it was that. So as I was coming here, I can start to connect heavily with all these religious codes. Just like it kind of reminded me of Philippines energies, where it was very heavily coded with religious codes there during Spanish occupation. Still going on. and something of that nature. So Philippines energy somewhat came through, and here as well for some reason, very strong presence of that religious codes. So as I'm walking around, I'm connecting, I'm transmuting, and the sacral needs to connect with the higher heart is what is coming right now to get prepared. And also this morning, the energy of Atlantis came through, a lot of the High Priestess energy, where the role of High Priestess was very key in Atlantis. And that energy of Aphrodite, Artemis, Demetrius came through. So it's in alignment with that sacral energy force in our sacral chakra, that we are to connect with the earth wisdom of nourishment to rebuild the new structure of the new earth at this time for new Gaia. Also cosmic love and harmonic creation from Aphrodite, so that we are not creating for egoic greed, desire, or personal ambition and power. And also that sovereignty of the last priestess energy, the sovereignty, the discernment, the independence, and what it really means, right? So I shared a lot about dependence and sovereignty lately, because I was connecting with these energies, and I felt called to share the specific shorts that came to me in divine timing, intuitively. So we are working heavily with this big energy right now, as the 1111 not only represents new beginning at this time, but the wiping out, cleaning up the old energies all together. We need to clean up all together. So that was in alignment with the shorts that I shared earlier this morning about letting go, about attachments and the process of it, and psychological process, so it can help someone who resonates. And that we need to understand that we can no longer build the new from the old, you see. So we need to go back to the ice age, meaning zero, ice, helado, which has been coming to me since I was in Latin America, Brazil, Lima. And so helado, gelato means ice. So we need to go back to that purity right now. Meaning we need to release all that we have accumulated. That is the knowledge, that is the beliefs, that is the system, that is the structures. So at this time, the energy of Capricorn is very heavy. From what I received as information, we have the Sun, the Venus, I believe, and one other planet, all in Capricorn. So we are to release all together and really review the structures that we are on right now, and see beyond the illusion. That is the truth. So letting go, when you see that as a sorrow, a grief, a loss, or losing something, it becomes a tragic event. But when you appreciate the journey, you see the lessons, values in all this life journey that took you here. You appreciate, you start to see the value in it, and with that you let it go, because it served you a purpose. You see what I mean? And it also contains the elements of emotional attachments that are very heavy for humans, especially like relationships and attachment to things for security and safety. So understanding the psychological process is key for someone to really shift their perspective in their own unique ways, in their own divine timing. So that I share that a bit on shorts. So now the reason why we need to go back to zero base, the pure purity, is that we need to use our creative power, open up our sacral force. So when you look at word sacred, it's when you reverse it, it's scared. So right now we are in scared state, meaning blocked sacral chakra energy. Scared meaning not feeling safe, not feeling secure, not feeling good enough as I am right now in this very moment, because we were forced to governed to live under outside rules and structures that are to control individuals. So we were basically living under fear. And now we are reversing that 360 degrees to sacred and honoring. And from that point on, we can restructure things from the zero ground. That it's like creative doesn't mean only artists, poets, writers, sorts of things like that. Like that's how we label at this time. But creative means basically creating something new, building, right? And that's why we need to review what we have accumulated, collected, and release everything all together. Even knowledge. And also dropping the egoic desires of greed, building out of greed and personal ambition is a red flag, is what is coming as a message. So right now we are to embark on a journey of walking on water is what is coming, representing walking, creating in faith, meaning we need to merge with our soul aspects and further dissolve, integrate the egoic aspect, however you resonate with that term, so that we are not creating something out of ego, but we are co-creating harmonically with the universe that is automatically aligned with energy of oneness is what is coming. So as the car in front of me is just passing by 444. So when I woke up, I saw the number 444. 444 have been coming up very heavily. So this year, 1111 is the very much of the pillar energy right now, building the solid ground. And what also came was the bone. And that bone, the structure, Tulu Yalu or something that I just walked, and I felt called to look up the meaning. It meant bone river in the Inca language. And what I just received after I saw that 444 number was that angelic realm wants me to share that the bone, as we know, representing the structure, the new structure, the 4 pillars, the 4, is a very strong energy right now. but bone river, meaning we need to, it's not a solid matter. It's a fluid structure. That's where we have been heavily working with flow state, embodying the flow state, the water codes, the ocean codes that we shared for this point, moving onwards. So we need those codes, especially for 144,000. However you resonate, if you are being pulled to this message and resonating, it may be for you, right? So if you have relation to High Priestess energies of Atlantis, something is coming up. I felt called to do a transmission, but I don't know if it's going to come. If it comes, I will do it. But that energy is very strong. We further need to activate and awaken and remember those codes that's been handed down. And that's what is coming. And as I'm here, there's distractions coming through. So I'm just going to wrap up here for this 1111 portal message for now. And okay, I'm just going to, is there any last message? Okay, that's all. So for that Helios transmission for 1111 portal, I will share the link of the shorts in the description box down below for those of you who wants to connect because you resonate. We'll be there for you. So with that, I hope this helps, and I'll see you in my other videos. Bye.